All right, so today we're going to be taking a deeper look into an Xbox that we recently fixed. Well, we recently switched out basically the parts that we needed out of it and put it into a new one. There was an issue with this one that I kind of want to take a deeper look into since we have some time. Normally I wouldn't do this just because it's an Xbox and they're very cheap. But let's see if we can fix the issue that we have here. The main issue is that if we plug in the power, it'll automatically boot up. And it won't, the power button doesn't work at all. There's no on, off, nothing like that. So that's the main issue. We took a look into it originally, and the problem seemed to be a lot of water damage in there. So I want to see if we can clean up some of that and then see if it'll change the fact that it's not working that way. So other than that, I think the game's actually, I think discs actually work in it. I'll find a disc and see if I can do it, but I'm pretty sure that either way, I think the disc drive is pretty messed up anyways. I have another one that maybe we can spare out. But let's first work on getting this power button working. Let's see if we can do that. So let's give it a try. Cool. Let's jump into it. The disk drive first. We're gonna just basically get everything out and get it down to the motherboard, and then we'll take a look and see if we can't see any other issues. Yeah, this one I didn't even put back together. I remember now. So the issue was the board. This board right here is jacked up, so it wasn't allowing us to read on the other one. So even if we do, we'll end up probably just modding it and making it so that we can play games directly off of a new hard drive. And this thing is just pretty nasty anyways. Like I said, our main issue is probably, let's see if I can get a good look here, probably this section right here. You can see all that. Let's see if I can get a better look here. You can see all that corrosion right there. So we'll clean that up and see if there's anything that needs to be swapped out. But it looks like for some weird reason, that's the problem. I know one of these capacitors goes bad as well, so it leaks. It could be this one, but I was thinking it was a different one. I was thinking it was a lone one, like this one, or maybe this one. I'll have to look it up and then see totally. But let's get the main motherboard out, and then we'll go from there. All right, and so here's the motherboard out. Let's just take a little deeper look into here. We'll start by cleaning all this out. We'll get all this cleaned up. It looks a little burned on this side, so we'll take a look at that, and then we'll see any of these components, see if any of those need to be swapped out. And we'll go from there. Just cleaning up the entire board is going to be our first thing we're going to want to do. And then after that, we'll start checking through traces. So I'm going to flip over the board here. On this side, you'll start going through any of the traces. Mainly what happens is traces on the very outer edge here, some of them can get severed and they can cause problems like the door ejecting automatically, the same thing, the power button not working, it not powering on, it shutting off automatically. Sometimes there's bad capacitors that leak and then they tear the traces up here. So that'll be our next thing that we'll go through, but let's first clean this up and then take a look through and see if there's anything we can solve there. All right, now that I got it all cleaned up, I'm gonna go ahead and get it underneath the microscope and then just give it a really good look around all the traces and then all the connections there and see if there's any bad components. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Most of the connections look good. It looks salvageable. I'm gonna go ahead and reflow all the connections real quick. I really don't want to spend too much time on it. I just want to see if I can get it back up and going this way. It doesn't seem like any of the traces have been severed. It just looks like there's some gunk on a lot of the connections. So I am going to dry this off. I'm going to apply some flux, and then I'm going to go ahead and just reflow most of this stuff, just so that we can see it and test and see if that's the issue. But mainly it just looks like a lot of gunk on the board itself. So I'm going to go ahead and clean it and just dry it, and we'll go from there. All right, I went ahead and cleaned off what I thought was mostly corroded. I went ahead and added some flux and just reflowed all those solder joints. There was one missing resistor, so I found one from a donor board and popped it back into place. And yeah, this is very minimum work. I just wanted to see if this is going to work. I didn't see any traces that were bad other than that, so should be it. If this does power on, I'm not going to keep it on for very long because I am going to switch out the capacitors on it as well. And if it works completely, then I'll be moving on to modding it next, and then we'll mod it up and not have to worry about the disk drive in it. So that's my plan. So let's go ahead and pop it. I'll let it dry up, and then we'll pop it into the system and see if that worked. All right, so it's basically all put back together. Most of the part, the drive itself, the disk drive is out still. I just wanted to test it. This is really just the bare minimum of the amount of work I'm trying to put into this thing, just because they're so inexpensive. I just want to see if I could get it to work. But yeah, we'll plug in the power. If it automatically doesn't power on, then we'll know we fixed it, and then we'll hopefully work out. If it doesn't work, it is what it is. I just wanted to give it a test. It's still worth putting up. Power is in, and it is not on. Plug this guy on. And the power button works. All right. Wow. That's awesome. It's going to tell me that there's no drive in it. Let me see if I can plug one in. Let's see if I can power it off. Cool. Power button works. That's exciting, actually. Let's go ahead and just toss this guy in. I don't think it's going to do it. Actually, I know this drive is not going to work, but because there's no laser in it. Cool. And it goes to the home menu. That is awesome. So we actually fixed that one. I really didn't have any faith in actually fixing this one. This one just is in awful shape still. We're going to go ahead and, like I said, in a future video, I'll take this one. I'm going to absolutely go through it now since it does work now. We're going to fully clean this bad boy out. And then I'm going to actually get a new hard drive for it. We'll mod it. And then from there, we won't need the disk drive at all. I'm not going to waste my time trying to put this in because I know in my previous video that the disk drive motherboard was jacked up, and I'm not going to search through that one. I'm just going to call it good on that. So yeah, cool. Stay tuned to my channel. You'll see that video upcoming hopefully in the next couple weeks, and we'll go from there. Awesome, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Later.